What up, though, brothers and sisters? This is your brother, SPEAKROC. Hey, I am with you today. Hey, thank you for joining me. I am very, very and extremely excited because I have an extreme special guest with me. Somebody that just pumps me up and just makes me want to get after it every day harder than what I'm doing. And we need that in our life. We need somebody that's within a certain reach that we may not even know to be able to take us to the next level. Let me just do a quick introduction. This is a young lady that has had many of situations in her life that she could have stopped, but she never did. She continued to press forward. This is an individual who has Midwestern roots, and she's transplanted out to the state of Texas. This is an individual who is a mother and a proud parent of a young king. This is an individual who has graduated college, magna cum laude, if you will. This is an individual who has understood her passion and pursued it and made something spectacular out of it. And, this is an individual who said, you know what, no matter what I've been through, no matter what situations may come my way, I am not going to stop. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the 2018 Toastmasters World Champion of Public Speaking, an individual that's known as the Ladybug of Speaking, Miss Ramona J. Smith. How you doing, Queen?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No worries. I meant every word that I said. I'm excited. Let me start it off like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring you in quickly. Through social media, there's always a lot of whatever, some good stuff, some bad stuff. But as I was searching, one of the hashtags I have under my social media is just African Americans. And thank God to the African American community that recognized you and they listed you and your achievement. And that was becoming the 2018 Toastmaster World Champion of Speaking. And it just totally caught my attention for a couple of reasons. Number one, I like to fashion myself as a type of speaker. And so there was an instant relation. Number two, as I saw who you were, and I said, let me check this person out. Let me follow and see what's going on. I see that you're a person that's like everyday people. And I'm not, I hope I don't embarrass you. I see you as a jewel amongst our people. And what I mean by that is you're something precious that God has put in the midst of us. And we just, and sometimes we don't even know it, and I was like, wow, this is somebody like a tangible person that's in the midst of us that is doing great things. And I had a friend that was in Toastmasters at one point. So I knew what it was. And I automatically, just associated with it. And I said, you know what? I got to know more about her. And as I just followed your page, it is one of those things that movies are made out of. Movies are made out of it. And I'm going to let you tell your story, but that's what attracted me. You're an individual who you're resilient, you're persistent, you have fight in you, and we'll get into that a little later. Because, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. You are an individual. And here's the other thing that made me connect, because it seemed like I had this internal checklist of things that was just beautiful about you. And I feel that's what's beautiful about people. You never blamed anyone.
Wow.
For whatever you went through. You acknowledged what you went through and you just pressed on. And in the midst of what you were going through, if anyone looks at I would say your IG, that's what I'm really more familiar with. In the midst of whatever you were going through, you always had nuggets for the people. I feel bad that I was just late getting to the party. So look, I've talked enough. Let's jump right into it because I want people to understand what your great achievement is and was. And I want them to become familiar so that way they can take that. And as you get into your story of your life, they can say, I got it. So please introduce everybody to the world of Toastmasters and your association with it.
Well, first of all, thank you for your compliments. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for acknowledging the things that you saw, and thank you for being courageous and for seeing that reflection of yourself in me, because that's all that you just see yourself in me. And, you know, we just reflections of one another. So the greatness and the amazing things that you're made of is the same thing that I'm made of. So that's the connection, that's the relation, and we Black. So it's already in us.
That's right.
So thank you. And I appreciate the recognition. I really do. And I'm definitely grateful to be here on your platform. So thanks again for having me here. Toastmasters is an organization that develops people to be, it helps people become more effective communicators and more effective leaders. You join a club, you meet once a week or twice a month, and you give speeches, and you work your way up to different leadership positions and different awards and different badges based on the roles you accept and based on the number of speeches that you give. Your first 10 speeches that you give, you'll get a certification called a CC, or a competent communicator. But after your first 10 speeches, you can do more speeches and get even more titles or degrees. But the basis, the foundation of Toastmasters is just developing more effective communicators and more effective leaders.
That's awesome. I like how you said that, more effective communicators and more effective leaders. And quite frankly, and I love to be honest, and I love that my target market is the African-American community. Look, I love all people. I love everybody. But I tell everybody, we as a people, as African-American people, we still have a work to do.
Yeah.
We have challenges that have not been addressed, not because we have not tried, but sometimes it seems as if when we take 2 steps forward, we take like 5 steps backwards. And I like what you're saying, because we need more effective leaders and communicators in the community. And, you know, I believe wholeheartedly that, guess what? You know, we got to build them. I know leaders are born. I get that. But, you know, that which God has put in us, we have to seek other people and build those individuals. So let's get into a little bit about you, because right now you've been on a journey to become, from my understanding, a certified educator in the state of Texas. So when we're talking about leading people, tell me why. First of all, once again, kudos to you and applause. I'm all big on applause and kudos. To go to college and graduate magna cum laude, look, brothers and sisters, this is special. This isn't every day. I know a lot of people. Look, I went to college. I did not graduate magna cum laude, okay? I didn't. So please, we got to give it up to people that reach high points of excellence. We just can't take that for granted. I'm not into that. Like, oh, well, that's what you're supposed to do. Well, there's a lot of things we're supposed to do, but we don't do them. But when somebody press forward and get them done, pat that person on the back. So please tell me about your pursuit of excellence in education. How did that lead your heart to say, you know what, I desire to be an educator?
Well, first of all, for those of you who haven't watched the speech, it's called Still Standing. You can find it on YouTube, Ramona J. Smith, Still Standing. And in my speech, I talk about how I dropped out of college 4 times. So for the person who's hearing magna cum laude and they're hearing she graduated at the top of her class, and yes, I did have my son with me on campus, so that just kind of magnifies it and really illuminates it, because I had this little child with me, and so I was still able to graduate in the top 4% of my class with the child. But for the person who may feel some type of way like, dang, they just bragging about all her accomplishments, let me take you through the process.
Please do.
I dropped out of college 4 times, right? So I failed 4 times. But when I had this little person that I was responsible for, I didn't want him to look at me and say, my mother is a failure, or my mother can't commit, or my mother can't finish what she started. So when my son was 6 weeks, that's when I decided to go back to school. He was my motivation. He was my inspiration. So I failed plenty of times, but I learned from my past failures. And when I realized that I was going to have to, because I'm an unwed mother. I'm not a single mother because his father does an excellent job. He's a wonderful father, but we're not married. So he's with his dad sometimes, he's with me sometimes. So we have two separate households. So I'm an unwed mother. And so I knew I was going to have to be able to take care of this child without the help of a spouse. I can't do that on a McDonald's salary. I can't do that working at Subway, and no down into those jobs, but I'm talking about low wage jobs. It's very hard to give the children the life that we want to give them with low wage jobs. The people who were in my life that were successful, they all graduated from college. And so I'm going to go with the majority. I'm going to go with what works best for everything that I've seen around me. Everybody around me was successful because they went to college. So what am I going to do? I'm going to follow their lead. I'm going to go to college. So when my son was 6 weeks, I decided to go back and I got my 2-year degree first. I started at a community college, baby steps. And then there was a program at a specific university called Baldwin Wallace, which happens to be one of the most prestigious universities in the Midwest. It's a private institution. And they had a program called Sprout, Single Parents Reaching Out for Unlimited Tomorrows. That means that as an unwed mother, they'll set me and my son up on campus where we can have our own apartment. He'll go to the daycare on campus. I'll go to school, don't have to worry about working a full-time job. They'll set me up for success. So I was blessed and fortunate enough to be in that program, which was one of the reasons why I was able to focus on my studies, and I was able to study abroad and do internships and be a part of business ventures with the Harvard Business School and just really get a full college experience. And I was 28 when I started at my undergrad. So I was older, I had a child, but I was at a great school and a great program. And that's how I was able to graduate at the top of my class, because I had a lot of support. Boom, I graduate. I haven't even been out of school for a year. I just graduated in December. But by me being extremely motivated and by me knowing that I was personally, I felt like I was a little bit behind, because when I graduated, I was 30. So I'm 30 now. My son was he 5? Yeah, he was 5 at the time. So I'm like, okay, look, I don't have a lot of time. Let's get down to business. Why did I choose Houston? I chose Houston because a lot of my family members are in Texas. I have family in Arlington, which is right outside of Dallas, and I have family here in Houston. My sister, her husband, and their 2 children, one on the way now. They're all in education. I got my degree in public relations and marketing, so I never wanted to be a teacher, right? But when I came down here, couldn't find anything in PR and marketing. So my sister at that time was an assistant principal. Her husband was, they were like, look, get your alternative certificate and just teach until you find something else. It's salary, the money is good, just teach. So I started off subbing, and then I finally got my teaching certificate. I'm certified to teach speech as well as family consumer science. And just being the achiever that I am and the person who's ambitious, I got my certification, and like a month later, I was able to teach. Now, teaching is not my passion. I never, ever, ever thought I'd be teaching. But like I said, it's salary, it's stable, it pays the bills. Speaking is my passion.
And I'm glad that you segued into speaking, because first of all, let me say this. You just talking my talk. I'm extremely motivated. Like, I'm a prior server. I'm a retired military guy. So that kind of lingo is just, it resonates with me, because how you speak, the Bible says life and death is in the power of the tongue. So when we speak these things, when we speak words of affirmation and positivity, it really does take over your spirit and your being. And so what I want to say to you is that I love that you talk like this. I'm being dead serious. I love that look, I'm married and I have, 3 daughters. I'm around women every day. So I have my heart just goes out to just women. I back women up. I'm a champion for women, because look, you need it. You just need it. With that being said, you said speaking is your passion.
Yes.
Now we're in college, Sprout program, putting, the little king in a daycare, I'm making it happen. I'm going to pursue this route because guess what? I got something higher than myself that I need to work for, and that's your young king. But you made time somehow to get into Toastmasters. And from my this is something you have to stick with. This is something that if you don't have any experience, you have to learn. You have to humble yourself. You gotta, as people like to say these days, enjoy the process.
Yeah.
No, if we're gonna make it to your level, you better enjoy the process. So I just want to know, what attracted you to Toastmasters, and what was your mentality going through when you first started?
Well, I'm 31 now, and when I was 19, that's when it was revealed to me that I need to be a public motivational professional speaker. So I knew that this calling was on my life when I was 19, but I had no point of reference. I was a little girl in the hood, like in East Cleveland, didn't know what to do, didn't have any direction. Neither one of my parents went to college. I didn't know any motivational speakers. All I know was that something in my spirit is telling me that I need to inspire people through my words. So I'm 19, I figure it out, I have the epiphany, but I don't know what to do with it. So 4 years later, I moved to Los Angeles, California, and I'm talking to my sister, and she says, you've had this public speaking dream for 4 years now. You need to join a Toastmasters club to help you become a more effective communicator and a more effective leader. So the speaking was already there, but Toastmasters, like you said, helped mold it. It helped shape it. It helped develop me as a speaker and become aware of some of the things that good speakers do and some of the things that good speakers don't do. And so when I was introduced to Toastmasters in 2010, I joined a club in Los Angeles, and I learned a lot. I learned how to be myself. I learned how to brand myself. That's where the Ladybug speaker came from. My president of my club said, if you're going to be a speaker, people need to remember you. They're not always going to remember your name. And then she told me about a guy who always wears a different hat. He's the hat guy. A guy who always wears a Hawaiian shirt when he speaks. He was a Hawaiian shirt guy. She said, who are you going to be? And so I was looking up different animals, and the Ladybug just resonated with me because she does a huge job in agriculture, but she doesn't have to get a lot of shine for it. But you know, when you see a ladybug, you know it's something good about it. It's you're lucky, you're fortunate. And so I like that. And so after I joined that club in 2010, I moved back to Cleveland. I stepped away for a little bit for about 5 years, and I joined another club in Cleveland called the Cleveland Club. And that club was much different from the club in Los Angeles. There are 16,000 clubs worldwide. Every club has a different personality. So my first club, the Dreamcatchers, was much different from the Cleveland Club. The Dreamcatchers was just like the name. We're animated, we're theatrical, we're feelers, we're Shakespeare, Maya Angelou. And the Cleveland Club was like, no, we're professional, we're Michelle Obama, we're Barack Obama, we're wearing our suits, we're corporate, we're lawyers, we're doctors, that type of situation. But I learned and I grew from both because one, I got to understand who I am as a person and who I am creatively. And on the other hand, I got to understand, okay, this is the business side, this is the logical side, this is the professional side. And so once I got that balance of creativity and business, that's when I competed in the international speech contest for the first time. That was 2015 when I first competed. And I did very well. If you saw my speech, you know that I won at the club level, I won at the area level, because it's levels. I won at the club level, I won at the area level, I won at the division level, and I placed third at the district level. If you place third or second and you don't place first, you don't advance to the semifinals. And then after the semifinals, it's the finals. But in 2015, I placed third in the district. And at that point, I only wanted to compete to win. I only wanted to compete to get the trophy. I only wanted to compete to prove that I was better than everybody else. And that's why I didn't win, of course, because I'm being led by my ego, EGO. And then in 2016, I wanted to compete again for the same reasons. I want to win. I know I'm the best. I'm better than everybody else. I know that I've been speaking for a long time. This is my passion. This is my calling. Why wouldn't I win? But I went in with that same mentality of me. It's all about me and what I can win and how it can benefit myself. And in 2016, I didn't even make it past the first round. So fast forward, life happens, get some wisdom, graduate college, move to Houston. speaking is always going to be a part of who I am. So I'm going to join the Toastmasters Club again, but this time I'm going to join for the right reasons. I'm going to join to actually learn. I'm going to join to actually grow. I'm going to join to actually have fun. And when the contest came around this past January, I didn't care about winning. I didn't care about the trophy. I just wanted to compete, to learn from other speakers. I wanted to compete to grow as a speaker, as a public speaker. And I wanted to compete to have fun and connect with the audience. And taking the ego out of it and taking the need to win and the desire for the trophy, once I let go of all of that, that's when boom, 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 I'm winning because I don't care. I mean, I care, but that's not my motive. My motive is to have fun and to learn and to grow. And that's when I just started winning. I just I just started winning everything. Like this year, I did not expect to be the world champion of public speaking, but I am. And that's kind of my journey through Toastmasters. I started in 2010. I stepped away for a little bit. I got back in 2015. 2016, I stepped away, got back in 2018, and now I'm the world champion of public speaking.
And it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. Look, let me ask you this, because usually people, when they're doing interviews, they always wait to the to the end and say, you know, what advice do you have, you know, for people? And I'm the kind of guy that I like to think holistically to the best of my ability. And in this holistic thinking, I always think about the community as a whole. That's elders, that's our adults, you know, and that's our youth. Because a lot of people, especially for someone I can see with your achievement and all that you've accomplished, probably one of the first things people would love to do is say, can you speak to our youth? And I understand why people love to speak to youth and bring them up. But once again, we are a community of people. You know, it takes all of us, because I think a lot of times if you impart something into a young person, but yet if the environment isn't one that cultivates them, that which you put in them can be stripped.
Right.
So I believe somebody like you are so impactful that you have something for everybody. Once again, you might have an elder, let's just be honest about it, who may have had some hiccups in life, you know, and made some mistakes. And you know what? They're an elder and they say, hey, look, I'm just going to ride the rest of life out. You are somebody who could spark them to say, it's not too late. You can start on something new. And for people in, you know, in the age range, in a middle or young age range, in your age range, you know, probably once again made some mistakes. And life can beat up on you so hard. It can beat up on you so much where you just become stagnant and don't want to press on. And then you got our youth. Youth are sponges. So what advice would you give to our community? I know that's a lot, but I just truly believe, by God, you have something that you can say that transcends all the generations. And I just want to know, what advice would you give?
Well, I think for our people, for African American people, we have to first figure out who we are. We don't know who the hell we are. We don't know where we come from. We don't know our culture. We don't know our traditions. We don't know our rituals. We don't know our customs. We have to figure out who we are. Like I'm really big on those DNA kits, because even if it gives you 13 different countries in Africa, at least you can connect to something. When I went to Ghana for 3 weeks, I haven't done a DNA test just yet, but I'm going to. But just going to Africa and spending time in this place where we all come from, it gave me a stronger sense of self. Because I feel like a lot of us in the African American community, we're like a puzzle that's missing some pieces. And so by going back over to Africa and fitting right in, even my mother was like, you look like you're home. And just getting some type of feel of people who look like you, people who talk like you, people who move like you, people who have features like you. I swear I was at the airport and I seen my auntie, I seen my mom, I seen my grandma, and just connecting with something. And you're surrounded by Black people. I was surrounded by, I forgot how many millions of Black people. And it's just, we're all over the place. And to see Black people on the money, It's
Yeah.
Black people on the
Yeah.
money. To see Black people in their lawyers, their judges, their engineers, their biochemists, their pilots, and to see that as the norm, I think that was so just monumental in who I am as a person. Because in America, Black people don't get the credit that we deserve. Black people are sometimes, not sometimes, Black people are often, if not always, treated like second-class citizens still, looked down upon, not empowered. For Black History Month, they still got people thinking that Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman are the only two people in Black history that ever made a difference. We have to start educating ourselves.
Okay.
Like, if you're gonna send your kids to school, that's fine, but you still have to find the time to instill in them how awesome they are and how excellent they are. And we have to set the standard of excellence. We have to set the standard for excellence. And we have so much work to do because everything starts with the family. But because of the transatlantic slave trade and how we started here in America at enslaved, and I don't like this, we're not slaves. We were enslaved people. So let's get that, because that's how they brainwash us. Y'all just slaves. We was just slaves. No, sir. We were enslaved people, okay? So we started off as enslaved people who were in this country. We were stripped of our culture. We were stripped of our languages. We were separated from our families, right? And even those families that tried to stick together, we'll go with Willie Lynch. I know it was a lot of other stuff besides that, but the Willie Lynch letters, if you ever get a chance to read those, and it just talked about how you can destroy these people mentally, our people mentally, for generations and generations to come by, first of all, taking the Black man out of the family. That's the first thing. That's the biggest thing. We don't have strong Black men in a lot of our families. Now, you are the exception, my brother, and I am so proud of you, and your family is so lucky and so blessed to have you. And that's, it's hard on the Black man. So for you to step up and take the responsibility, like, that's so commendable. Like 80,000 salutes, because they tore down our Black men so bad, and we had to watch it. The wives and the children had to watch him be beaten, had to watch him be castrated, had to watch him, they would tie one arm to a horse and another arm to another horse and beat the horses so they would go in different directions. They would torture and humiliate and just destroy our Black men in front of us. And that is the key. The key is family. So I feel like one of the biggest things is if we can figure out a way to rebuild the family, the Black family, that's when everybody gonna be in trouble. That's when we're gonna start to rise up as a people. When we get these strong Black men in a household, and you get a strong woman who's supporting her man, and a man who's supporting his woman, and a woman who's respecting her man, and a man who's loving her, his wife, and then we raise up these kids to know what love looks like and what normalcy is, and we're not dealing with domestic violence, and we're not dealing with rape and incest and all the stuff that comes with being an African American. I really think it all boils down to the family. So if we can start working on our family structure, that would be great. But realistically, what advice do I have? Self-awareness. Who are you? Who are you? What do you know your purpose? Do you know your calling? A lot of us do, but we ignore it. We ignore it, and we're afraid to step out on a limb. You got something to say? Go ahead.
No, I have nothing to say. I'm trying not to jump off my chair and go run somewhere. I'm like, you can't be talking to me like that. Like, you talking my talk. I just look, man, see, and look, let me say this too. And I'm not just trying to, just flatter you over and over. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I have to give credit where credit is due, and I have to celebrate you because I knew, first of all, thank you for your time. Thank you for your time because, look, in this life, trying to meet people and trying to connect is easier said than done.
That's true.
We have so much hurt within the African American community that we are very standoffish. We are very distant. We talk a good game that we want to connect, but a lot of times pride and hurt is in between us connecting. And one of the things that I've tried to do with my platform is to be that bold spirit, and I'm gonna bust through whatever your little pain and whatever you're going through, because it's crucial that we do connect. And I tell people all the time, everybody not out to get you.
Right.
Everybody is not out to do you harm. So when you see, and I gotta let people know, when I start connecting with you through social media, you was on a you were busy. You was on a rise. The world was celebrating you. Let's just call it what it is. The world was celebrating you. You was a busy person. And I was like, can I get an interview from you? And you're like, yeah, sure. And to me, I was like, you don't get no realer than this. Because you could have been like, look, the world is celebrating me. I'm busy. You know, I got things to do. But I knew it was important for me to stay consistent in pursuing to get this interview from you, because it wasn't, I know it's not about me. It's not about you. It's about for the greater good, not just even for our community. I know I pinpoint and I talk about the African-American community, but we are world people. We are world people. And if we can make the difference, as what you said, self-awareness, I'm talking too much. You got me started. Self-awareness, like you said, because you have awareness of who you are and you have your finger on the pulse of our community of what it's going to take to make us better, starting with the African-American male, starting with the unification of the family, the Black African-American household. That's how we would grow. That's how we would develop. That's how we would bring forth change. I knew this is what I knew people needed to hear. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. We're so far away from who we are that this is stuff that a lot of people, they're not going to want to hear, because we're so far gone. Like we just don't know who we are, and we don't love each other. We don't love each other like we should. Because if I don't know who I am and I'm still trying to, they say if you can't love yourself, how you going to love anybody else? If you don't know who you are, how can you love yourself? If you don't know where you came from and you torn between this European culture, and you're torn between the Hollywood thing, and you really don't know where you belong, I mean, you gotta cling to something, because we all want to feel connected. We all want to feel a sense of belonging. So until we figure out who we are and where we come from, and that's why the family is so important, because your family sets the tone for who you are. Your family shows you who you are. Like if my mom graduated from college and my dad graduated from college, naturally, what I'm gonna do? Graduate from college. But if my mom was a college dropout and a teen mom, and my dad was addicted to drugs and beat up his women, like, I'm probably gonna be a teen mom, and I'm probably gonna find a dude who just like my daddy, who beating me up and probably drink too much or smoke too much. I mean, we just caught up in these vicious cycles, and I feel like us coming up, the leaders that are coming up now in our late 20s and our early 30s, we have the education and the exposure to be able to turn it around. And so we can't be selfish with the knowledge that we've gained, because we're doing way better than our ancestors in our previous generations. We have way more education. We have way more financial knowledge. We have way more resources. We have the internet. We have Google. We have things that they didn't have. So it's our job to now start to turn things around. And it's our job to, like you said, give back the knowledge that we've learned. We have to start these nonprofits, or even if it's not a nonprofit, we have to start these organizations to be able to help our kids learn how to budget money, to help our kids learn about safe sex, to help our kids understand the value of marriage. Even if you were never married, you can read, or in a lot of hashtag relationship goals. We all have relationship goals, right? Because we all want the connection. We all want to be married. We all want that lifestyle. And nowadays we have no excuses of I don't know. Because you can just search it up on Google. You can watch it on YouTube. So we have to, the stuff that we didn't have, is up to us to figure it out and give it to our kids. Because we have access to so much knowledge, but sometimes we get caught up in the crabs in the barrel mentality. Like, And that it just all stems from that lack of self. Because if I have something and I feel like that's all I have, I don't want to give it to you. I don't want to give you my knowledge. I don't want to give it away because that's all I have. And especially if we're not getting the attention that we need, like, I'm going to keep all these ideas to myself so that I can be the next Instagram star, not you. I want 30,000 followers. I don't want you to have any of my followers. I mean, it really all just stems from self. Like,
Right.
we just, I wish, you know how like Muslims have to go to Mecca to complete their servitude?
Yes.
I wish that as an African American people, we had to go to Africa, like West Africa in general, like generally somewhere on the west coast of Africa. I wish that that was a part of our nationality. Like, as soon as you're born and they see African American, they got that ticket and that passport ready for you. Like, all right, whenever you're ready, you have to go, but you have to go before you turn 21 or something like that. Just to get connected. Like, a lot of us don't even know where our grandparents were born. A lot of us don't know where our great grandparents were from, and so we're lost. We're lost. And if you're lost, you have no direction. And if you have no direction, you don't know where you're going. And if you don't know where you're going, you're stuck. And that's so much deeper than the World Championship of Public Speaking. But now that I have this platform, I feel like it's my job to help us reconnect with who we are. Because once you figure out who you are, you gain self-confidence. And you don't let people treat you any kind of way. And you don't settle for less. And you don't feel inferior to anybody. Because if I can go to Ghana and I'm surrounded by people who have the same skin and features as me, and they're doing great things and excellence is the standard, then that's a part of me. And that's how I should be operating in my life. It's no reason why we should be stuck and stagnant in projects and not having driver's license, and child support got us all messed up and tangled up in certain things because we live in a society that's not conducive to Black people. So we have to get the exposure. We have to get out here and see the world and see different things in order to get a better understanding of who we are. I'm just ranting, but
It's okay.
if I'm talking to my people, this is what we need to hear.
Yes. Hey, look, I love it. I love the way you're making my segues for me. You're just doing an excellent job. I guess that's that speaking spirit you got. You know, and that's something else that you and I connect on. I've been to Africa. I've been fortunate through the grace of God. I've been to Kenya and I've been to Uganda. And you're absolutely right. That exposure changed me. Changed me. I was never the same. You know, I'm from the east side of Detroit. You know, I'm a hood dude. So, but, you know, then I went to the military and I got exposure in that way. You know, went to Japan, went to some other countries, but nothing was like going home.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing like it. With that being said, talk to us about what occurred with you and this was just recent. You was like in Dubai and somewhere everywhere else. Let us in your world. You know, talk to us.
Woo! So I went on a 3-country tour. I went to the United Arab Emirates, which consists of 7 states. 2 of those are Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Then I went to Oman, and then I went to Qatar. And I was out there speaking and doing workshops to colleges, Toastmasters clubs, and schools. The treatment was phenomenal. When I tell you they respect the title and they understand how much it takes and how much hard work goes into it, they appreciate it. They really respect it. I mean, I was greeted with flowers everywhere I went. I was just like, you better not pay for nothing. You better not. Like, I mean, I'm just greeted with so much love, and I was a real celebrity over there. And it was just amazing to be exposed to different cultures. And I went to the Indian festival and I was able to do the traditional dances that they do. And I was able to dress in the traditional wear that the Indian women wear to the festivities. And I was able to eat all different types of food and just being exposed to the different culture in addition to speaking and inspiring. It was just an experience that I'll never forget. I'll never forget. And now I can go back and I can take my son and say, this is where I spoke and these are the people that I met and this is what I've done. And it's letting me learn more about myself. I'm taking risks, I'm meeting new people, but it's all a part of my life journey. And it's just, Oh, it's just layers of self-love. And like you said, I love African Americans because that's who I am. I love people of African descent. That's who I am. But I'm still a global citizen.
Yes.
I'm not anti anyone else. I don't hate anybody else. I just, I love my people and I have an obligation to my people first. But Black people, we're just naturally friendly. Most of us, we just naturally loving. We just naturally like to socialize with people. We just genuinely good people. Like deep down in our souls, we just good people. It's just who we are. And so going across the country, across the world in these different countries, it's easy for me to connect because it's just who I am. But I definitely recommend travel. It is so easy to get a passport. It is so easy to get a passport, but a lot of people don't even know what a passport is, unfortunately. So it's just the exposure, and then coming back to the States and being able to talk to kids and tell them I've been here and here and there, or even grown-ups, I've been here and here and there. Maybe it'll inspire them to want to go. And we have a lot of stereotypes about the Middle East, and you don't go, there's a bunch of terrorists over there, or some prince gonna try to marry you because he got a bunch of oil. Like, you can bust all those myths. Go see for yourself, because people have all type of stereotypes about Africa. They live in huts. They ain't got no food. Like, man, go see for yourself.
And you know what's beautiful is that I want you to, I'm sure you've been getting love, and because one IG and the sites that were giving you love, shouting you out, I just want to see more of it. I do. I want to see more of it. I want to see our people. I want to see all 50 states love up on you. I want to see the 4 territories of America love up on you. I want the African-American community to not let your achievement just be a blimp. I just don't want it to be dust in the wind. No, she is one of ours.
Yes. And I'm only the second African-American to do it.
Say again?
I'm the second African-American woman to ever win. So that's major within itself. Wow.
Yeah, I just don't want this just to go by. You need to be celebrated as long as we possibly can. and in your celebration, I want to know something. Where is the Ladybug speaker going from this? How are you going to use this to increase your platform? Now, you ain't got to tell us everything. You ain't got to put all your business in the streets. But inspire us. Give us some, like, hey, she's about to go do this because she's put the work in here. What is the future looking like for the Ladybug speaker?
Well, whenever you get a platform like this, you have to take advantage of it, because next year there's going to be another world champion. So I want to do coaching. I want to do training. Of course, I want to continue speaking all over the world. I want to do movies. I want to speak and inspire in every way that I can. Maybe do a vlog or something. I don't know. I want to do everything. I want to coach. I want to train. I want to write. I want to act. And I want to continue speaking. Wow.
That's amazing. Look, I just believe, I put my faith with yours. It's going to happen.
Thank you.
Every last one of them, and make it happen. Because I saw one of your other posts. You are in, I don't want to say a dilemma, but you are being honest with yourself. My passion is speaking. Right now, I'm an educator, but my passion is speaking.
Yes.
So look, I just, before the education piece leaves you, I pray that they get all they can out of you, because once again, you are a total jewel in our community. And I just pray to God that you leave us with something, but I pray also that people fortify you, push you to go continue and go after your dreams. Look, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to ask. I can listen to you talk about your experience all day, but I don't want to take much more of your time. I appreciate you, and I thank you so much for all that you've given us. This is just amazing to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I went on my African American queen rant, but I feel like somebody needed to hear that. Somebody somewhere.
That's right.
Like, hey, maybe I do, or dang, she right, or something.
No, that's good. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hey, look, let's stay in touch. And
Yes.
hey, look, I just may be reaching out to you, like, I need help with my coach
You
me.
got my information at Ladybug.
Yes, please. List everything.
Yes.
How we can get in contact with you.
So my website is ramonajsmith.com. On Instagram, I'm at Ladybug Speaker. And on Facebook, ramonajsmith.com.
All right. Good deal. Now, one last question. How soon do you think the coaching will be available for those that will want to reach out to you? How soon do you think you're going to get something like that up and going?
I have to do it quickly because you know how people are. When you up there, they up there with you. But when it starts to die down, it starts to trickle down. So hopefully by Thanksgiving, I have something put together, if not before.
Good. Hey, look, the Ladybug speaker, Ramona J. Smith. Thank you, Queen.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
All right, have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.